Hello, I'm Joe Lewis. Welcome to our series on counter fighting. Now, in counter fighting, keep in mind that the most important thing is when someone is firing a technique at you, whether it be a punch or a kick, is you must first learn how to make them miss. So basically what we're going to be working on is a strategy, and I call it the art of making your opponent miss, or how to dodge punches and kicks. Now, strategies, again, are very, very important to your overall skills. Whenever you step in the ring, often you spend a lot of time working on your mechanical skills, developing how to execute punches and kicks and what have you. Then you learn to get your body in good physical shape. And as I've said before many times, when you go out there to spar, often what happens is you start sparring, and every time you fire, one of two things happen. You either miss or you get hit. Then what happens? After you realize your technique's not working for you, the next thing you realize is your body starts running out of gas. Then, what resources do you have at that moment to fall back on? There's only one thing left, and that is what we call your mental skills. But if you haven't been working on your mental skills, developing those tactics, exercising those game plans, different ways of controlling different types of situations, keep in mind, you can't approach every opponent the same way. I wouldn't approach a tall person the same way I'd approach a short person. I wouldn't fight someone who's really fast the same way I'd fight somebody who's slow. If somebody's strong, I'm going to deal with them differently than someone who's weak. If I've got a good lead-off fighter, as opposed to a good counter fighter. And try to keep those two types of fighters in mind right there. Because later in this tape, I'm going to show you how to deal with those two types of fighters, how to do what we call reversing the role. And why those two types are important is because everybody can be basically broken down into either a lead-off fighter or a counter fighter. What I mean by that is every time there's an exchange in the fight game, one person's attacking, the side who's basically initiating the attack is what we call the lead-off fighter, and the side receiving the attack is basically one which we call the counter fighter. Now keep that in mind, because everybody in the fight game can be broken down into one or the other of those two categories. Hopefully we can balance ourselves off or out so we know when to lead off and when to counter, so we become what we call balanced fighters. I could give you a list of perhaps 30 different types of fighters. A pressure fighter, a swarmer, a blitzer, a linear fighter, a circular fighter. You can go on and on and on, but basically everybody's in one of those two categories. Now, let me begin by showing you and giving you an idea of what we're going to be working on in this particular seminar. All right, my two partners today are Mike McFarland and Rick Pasetta. All right, can you position against me, Mike, over here? Now watch this carefully, just position in a sparring stance. The hardest thing to do in the fight game is close that gap between you and your opponent and hit your opponent without missing or being hit in the process. Now, I feel the two biggest weaknesses that we must concentrate on in the fight game are, number one, and I think this is real important, we all get hit too often, especially in the face area. So today we're going to work on what I call the art of making your opponent miss. And the technique we're going to concentrate on is the hand, which I think is the fastest technique, and that's a forward-hand strike. If you can make somebody miss a forward-hand strike, you can certainly make a miss with the rear hand, which takes a little longer to get there. And if you can make somebody miss a punch, obviously you should be able to make somebody miss with a kick. Now, the second biggest weakness, I think, in the fight game is when we squeeze the trigger to come off that firing line to hit your opponent, there's a little tendency to have a weak lead-off technique. Now, you might lead off with a punch, you might lead off with a kick, you might lead off with a fake, you might lead off with some sort of a little probing technique or a draw step, or some sort of artificial technique, art position. Like I might just come out and paw him. I'll come out and just sort of touch his leg to set him up for the kick. Or get his attention downstairs and hit him with a punch. Or get his attention upstairs, paw him to hit him with a kick downstairs. Any of those types of lead-off techniques. So, being that those are the two biggest weaknesses in the fight game, let's pick one and work on it. Now, what we're going to do first is, I'm going to have you spar a little bit with a partner. Now when you spar, this is what we call a limitation sparring drill. I only want you to use these 3 techniques. 1, 2, 3, watch it. The forward hand strike, this is the only punch I want you to use. Do not punch with the rear hand, just a forward hand strike. You can punch the chest, stomach, or face with it. Often I like to set my opponent up. Come and get his attention on the chest, make him think downstairs, then fire it back upstairs. And the other 2 techniques, I want you to use the front leg. Lead leg roundhouse kick and your lead leg side kick. Just those 3 techniques. Do not punch with the rear hand. Do not kick with the rear leg at all. So what we're doing now is thinking about these 2 things. Thinking about how often we get hit, which is a big weakness we all have, and thinking about developing our lead-off techniques. I like the front hand and the front leg. These are the 2 closest weapons to my opponent, so I like to use them a lot. Now, the reason we get hit a lot is because whenever we attack, we have a tendency to lead with the target. We throw the target at the man first, then we bring the weapon through later. I'm going to show you how to remedy that in a little bit. First, let's begin by doing a sparring drill. All right. Rick and Mike, can you position against each other, please? Okay, I want you to move around for a few seconds. Maximum speed, just concentrate on those lead-off techniques. See if any strategies come to mind as you're sparring. Monitor what you're doing, because at the end of the seminar, we're going to spar again to see if the strategy we work on today improves your counterfighting skills and your ability to make your opponent miss. So keep in mind what you're doing now when you're sparring. All right, position. Okay. All right, watch each other like a hawk. Relax. Get centered. Get ready. All right, begin. This is what happens. Keep moving. Just concentrate on lead hand, lead hand, lead hand, and lead leg. Move at maximum speed. Snap in those techniques. Snap those techniques. Good, good, good. Keep moving. Just remember when you get hit. Just like in tournament competition. Okay, hold it up. Okay, bow to each other. Now hold it for a second. Now, when you finish your sparring session, think about and record the moment you were getting hit. Now, often many of us have what we call a point of vulnerability. Let me give you an idea of what I mean by that. All right, Mike, can you square up against me? Point of vulnerability means the point at which you tend to be most vulnerable. Now, there's 4 opportunities when you are going to get hit, and it's as such. When you make your attack towards your opponent, as soon as you squeeze the trigger, bam, you might get hit on your initial move, or you might get hit on your follow-up. Or the third point of vulnerability is when your opponent makes a jump at you. He starts his attack, so you get hit on his initial move, or you might be able to make him miss that initial move, but you get hit on his follow-up. So, 4 points of vulnerability. On your initial move, or on your opponent's initial move. Or on your follow-up, or your opponent's follow-up. So right now in your own head, think about that. Where do you get hit most often? Myself, I usually get hit when my opponent does his follow-up. I'm pretty good on the initial move. Yourself, see where you have a tendency to have a weakness. Try to first figure out, is it during the initial stage of the fight, doing the initial move part, or is it on the follow-up stage? Now that's a step in the right direction. Now you know the little loophole you have in your defensive skills and where to plug that up. Now watch that first drill we're going to work on. All right, square up against me, Mike. Now what we're going to do is this. What I'm going to do is position against you. I want you to step up and put your hand straight out against my forehead. Measure your distance. Stick your hand up. Now make a fist. Make a fist. And keep it locked out. Now watch how he's going to measure his distance. I want you to keep that arm out straight and step back to your hands a good 18 inches from my face. Step back a little bit more, just a touch more. Okay, position, right from there. Now that's a good sparring range. Did everybody see how we gauge that distance? Throughout the seminar today, try not to fire your punches from any closer distance than this. Once you can defensively master the skill of making someone miss from this range, then you can try it from a little closer. But let's try it from here today. Okay, now watch. What I want you to do is, I'm going to position like this, and I want you to try to step in and tag me on the forehead with a forward hand strike as fast as you can. Okay? Let's see what happens. Try to make contact. Got to move fast. A little bit faster, a little bit faster. Come on, Mike, you got to move a lot quicker, a lot quicker. Come on, a little bit quicker, a little bit quicker. A little bit faster. All right, now watch. Notice he hasn't made contact yet. And also notice I didn't block it. But he was missing. This is what we're going to be working on today, showing you how to make your opponent miss. See, before I can counter his punch, or before I can counter his kick, keep this in mind, it's real important. You must first make him miss. So the purpose of making someone miss a technique is to create an opening for an answer, for a counter. That's why we call this counter fighting. And 90% of all your counter fighting skills and training should be done primarily focusing on putting the emphasis of your attention on learning how to make the other man miss. Now, this is what we're going to work on first. Before I have my two partners square off against each other like this, before you square off with your partner and start firing punches back and forth at each other, let's learn exactly what I'm doing with my body. Now, most karate people have a slight tendency to use the hands too much when they're trying to make the other man miss. We have a slight tendency not to use our knees enough. Let me give you a slight example of what I mean by that. All right, position against me, Mike. Now, what I want you to do is just fire a real fast roundhouse kick up here. All right, go, real fast. All right, good, back reposition. All right, isn't that fun hitting me? All right, now, I knew he'd smile. Now watch. This time, this is what a traditional karate man would do. All right, fire that kick again real fast. We come down and block. But notice, when I block, see, my hands aren't in a good counter punch position. And if he's got a real big leg, somebody that squats 500, 600, 700 pounds, he's going to rock me off balance. And before I can counter punch or counter kick or do a counter takedown, I got to first regain my balance, get set, then maybe I can counter punch. Too much time is lost. Back reposition. Watch the difference. Notice my hands are in a good counter punch position from here. I can bump him, I can grab him, what have you. All right, again, I want you to fire real fast, four-leg roundhouse kick. Watch how I make him miss this time, real fast. All right, again, real fast, real fast. Is that basically what I'm doing? All I'm doing is I'm keeping my hands where they're at. Watch this slowly. I'm using my knees. Watch the knees bend as I come down to make him miss. See, I'm making him miss with the knee as the kick gets up there. Notice as he misses, my hands are in a perfect position for a counter movement. I can follow through the punch, or I can follow through the punch here. Or I could bump, or I could grab and do a takedown. In other words, we don't move our body enough. We're too stationary. So we're going to work on that a little bit today, showing you how to add mobility to the body. And then how to add mobility to the position. Because, very simply, a moving target is harder to hit than a stationary target. Now watch what I want you to work on first. My two partners, can you join me? Mike over here facing this direction. Rick over here facing this direction. All right, watch me. Can you stay back about a half a foot? Now watch. If someone's firing a punch straight at my face, or a kick straight at my face, first thing I want to do is I want to dip. Watch my knees start to dip down. What this dipping motion is doing is it's lowering my target. Watch me come back up. First step I'm going to do when the kick or punch comes straight at my face is I'm going to start dipping. This is called straight down. Now let's just try that a couple times. All right, ready? All right, dip, down and up. All right, down and up. Now you can go slow dip, you can go fast dip, you can go deep dip, and you can go shallow dip. Just try that a few times. Just get the feel of dipping. Dipping, just straight down. Try to keep the body upright as much as possible. You don't want to tilt over when you're dipping. Especially if that man's firing a kick at you, he's going to lift that knee, hit you right in the face, you get cut or a black eye or something like that. Now watch. Imagine that punch is coming straight at my face. What I want to do is this. As that punch is coming straight at my face, I'm going to dip. As I dip, at least the punch will not hit me in the face. It's now going to hit me up on the top part of the crown of my body, or my head here, and won't hurt as much. Then what I'm going to do is this. Watch my body shift my weight to my rear foot. Slowly shift my weight back to the rear foot. Keeping my shoulders level, keeping my shoulders directly over my hips. Notice I'm not in a karate stance. Both knees are bent. I'm sort of relaxed. Shifting my weight back up. Now watch. I'm coming down again. Watch me circle to my backside. Circle back up. Dip down, circle, put my weight on the rear foot, back up. So basically we're going to work on this motion. Watch me. You're coming down, then you're circling outside. Coming down, circling inside. Watch it slow motion. Down, circle inside, back up. Down, circle outside, back up. Some people call this bobbing, weaving. I don't like that term because it implies you're boxing. Bobbing, weaving to me means you're bending over. This is a circle motion, not a weaving motion. Now watch how this would work in reality. All right, Mike, can you square up against me? As a matter of fact, it'll look better from this angle. Can you position over here, face me? On the line like we had before. Okay, now watch. I want you to stick that punch, step in, stick that punch straight out of my forehead, slow motion. Now watch. When he fires that punch, in all of today's drills, I want you to aim this punch at your opponent's forehead. And I want you, I'm making this very explicit, to make contact against your opponent's forehead. Do not miss. Make light, quick contact, only hard enough to get your opponent's attention. Now, in a real fight, aim that punch not at your opponent's nose or the face, but always aim that punch low, like at the neck, and I'll show you why. See, if he's aiming this punch at my face, and I lean back, see, he's going to miss. It's going to sort of ride up. Or if he's aiming at my face, and I shift my head to the side, it's going to miss. If I shift it to this side, again, it's going to miss. But now watch. If he's always aiming that punch low at the neck, or that kick low at the neck, and I rock back, boom, he's still going to hit something. Or if he's aiming at my neck, I shift my head to the side here, up here he'd miss. But down here, if he keeps going, he'll still hit the neck. Same thing if I shift to the outside. Up here he'd miss. Down here, if he keeps coming, he'll hit the neck. So, when you don't like somebody, you want to hurt somebody, aim it at the neck. When you're sparring your sparring partner, you're trying to help somebody out, upgrade their skills, don't aim it at their face today. No time today do I want you and your partner to hit each other. Always aim it at the forehead. So try to protect your sparring partner so you have somebody to play with tomorrow. Got me? Now, notice I said play with him. Now watch. When that punch comes, stick your hand out my face, slow motion again. I want you to slip down and rock your weight to your rear foot. Notice my weight is on my rear foot, and now I'm to the outside punch. I've circled to the outside. As he recoils the punch, I slide back up. Now back reposition. All right, back over this way just a little bit. Now watch. As he fires the punch again, I start to come down, I slip it to the inside. Notice as I slip it to the inside, my weight is now on my front leg. Where there's weight, there's power. So from here, I can counter with my front hand. Back reposition. So watch me. As I slip to the inside, as I circle to the inside, I would prefer to counter off this hand where the weight is. Or if I slip and circle to the outside, I would prefer to counter off the rear hand. Where there's weight, there's power. Now pay close attention to my forward. Make sure you got a good bend in the knees. You shift your weight and you feel comfortable there. Or, good bend in your knees, you shift your weight and you feel comfortable there. All right, gentlemen, let's both face this direction, please. All right, back just a little bit. All right, let's do it with me. Position, slow motion now. I'm taking this slow and delicately in the beginning here because I don't want you to make any mistakes. This is something new for some of you. This is not boxing. This is called fighting. Okay, a punch is a punch, a kick is a kick, block is a block, a stance is a stance. Let's don't get tied up in what style it is or what system it is or what martial art form it is. It's basically American karate, meaning if it works, use it. All right, for you instructors, some of you might say to bone against bone, the art of drawing blood. All right, position please. Slow motion now. With me. Bob down. Shift your weight back as you circle over. Your shoulders over your directly over hips. Look at both knees. Are they comfortably bent? You're not in a backward leaning stance in a karate stance. Both legs are bent. You're ready to spring in any direction. Circle back up, please. All right, now let's try it the opposite side. Bob down, circle to the outside, back up. All right, let's do it again now. All right. Down and back, circle back up. Now down into the forelegs, circle forward, back up. All right, let's practice that a few times on your own. Slow speed, then I'll say gradually speed it up. All right, go back foot first, front foot next. Back foot first, front foot. All right, ready? All right, let's do it together. All right, back up, forward, back up. Now, as you're doing this, imagine seeing a fast kick coming at your face, or imagine seeing that fast punch coming at your face. All right, let's try it again just a little bit faster, going backward this time. Ready? Back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. So everybody see what we're doing? So basically, a dip motion with a circle. A dip motion with a circle. Now, let's make it a little more realistic. Let's apply this against each other. Now watch this exercise. Mike over here, Rick over here on this side. Can you position against each other? Now, Rick, I'd like you to fire the punch first. When you fire this punch, make sure that you're 18 inches away. When you throw it, I want you to step in with both feet like I just did. Fire the punch. Back, reposition. Take your time between each punch. Keep your partner relaxed. You're trying to help your partner learn how to make a technique miss. All right, can you square up against each other, please? All right, measure your distance first, Rick. See if you're 18 inches away. Back a little bit, back a little bit more.
John, do you want the punch to go first or this thing?
You can throw it any way you want. Today, when you fire the punch, let's do it this way. He wants to know, do you want to fire the punch before the fist? Judging from the deceptive penetration seminar. So let's just step and punch at the same time for now, okay? Usually when I'm punching, I'll point my foot straight at the opponent's face, and my punch will come straight off the end of that foot. Now you fire this punch, you can turn it over, you can throw it vertical, you can whip it in, or you can drop it in. As long as you hit this hairline up here, do not hit the eyes here, do not hit the bone structure here or the mouth. Got me? All right, let's try it. Position. Now, he's got the offensive distance down. Choke back just a hair more, Rick. Make it easy on him. Now, I want you to handcuff your hands behind your back. Wrap your wrists like that. I want you to have a feeling of helplessness. Now, I'm going to start off at half speed, slow motion. Does everybody understand that? Half speed. Good slow pace between each technique. Now begin. Let's see what happens. As soon as you see the punch come, slip back, reposition. Give him a chance to relax between each exercise. Keep this in mind, folks. You hit your partner, his turn's coming up. Okay, let's try it again. Good. Back, reposition. Do not follow your opponent's head. If his head goes here, don't follow it over. Try to hit him where he's at. We have a chance later in this seminar where we're going to be following your opponent's head. Now keep going. Let's see what happens. All right, now gradually start speeding the punch up until you're at full speed. Good. Gradually speed it up a little bit more. Take your time between each position, each time you fire. Allow your opponent a chance to get comfortably set. You want to keep him relaxed. This is a little spooky, this exercise, first time you try it. All right, now, a little fast, Rick. I want you to do this. Convince your partner you're really trying to hit him. Let's see what happens now. He's going to go full speed this time. Up, I think you pulled the punch a little too short. Don't do that. Don't misfool your partner. You're building a false sense of confidence in your partner. When he goes out there in a realistic altercation, or he gets in a real fight, or a point tournament, or full contact, and his partner's been doing the missing for him, what's that going to do for his confidence? It's a phony sense of confidence. Don't give him a pseudo-confidence. Give him the real thing. Okay? Convince him you're trying to hit him. So when he makes you miss, then that he knows he can make anybody miss. Let's try it again. Good. Back reposition. One more time. Good. Okay, now I'm going to switch the intent back to the opposite side. This time, Mike, you're firing at Rick. Keep this in mind when that punch comes or when you're practicing this against a kick. The instant you see him squeeze into the trigger, you must be moving. You can't wait until the punch starts to come and then you start to move the body. It's too late. Your timing is off. There's no man alive who can move your body as fast as your opponent can move that little bitty fist or that little bitty foot. So try to get a sense of the moment your opponent is just about ready to squeeze that trigger. So watch your opponent closely, use your peripheral awareness, see if you can get a sense of when they're going to tilt that shoulder, or maybe they will telegraph their movement in some way. All right, now keep this in mind. The purpose in making your opponent miss is to create an opening for a counter. So, in point tournaments, you say, well, gee, Mr. Lewis, that punch is kind of close. They'd call that a point. All you got to do is cheat it over a little bit more. But make sure when you're down in this position, don't tilt your shoulders. You have no power when your shoulders are tilted. Always make sure your shoulders are directly over your hips. Make sure you're not way out here. I don't want you to rock back to make a miss. See, anybody can do this, make somebody miss. But from here, I can't counter. I'm too far away. I want to try to get inside this punch. Inside this punch. Okay, position again.
Excuse me, Joe. Would I be rocking forward to the right side or away from the right side?
Sort of come straight down, and then you sort of come away from it, sort of to the outside. Got me? Now, keep this in mind. If you are 6'6", and the opponent firing a punch at you is 5'6", you're not going to slip underneath the punch. That makes common sense, doesn't it?
Sure.
Got me? So the taller person would have to make an adjustment according to two things. The opponent in front of you, depending on his body structure, his psychological nature, in conjunction with yours. But basically, this is a mechanical technique that we all can work on. All right, position. All right, hands behind your back, Rick. All right, measure your distance, Mike. Back reposition. Good 18 inches away. Let's start off at half speed. Let's see what happens. All right, go. Back reposition. Taking your time between each punch. All right, Rick, don't leave the punch out there now. As soon as you fire that punch, practice recoiling, because you may have to follow through, or he may be coming back with an answer or a counter punch. You don't want your hand out here when he's answering your attack. So your ribs are wide open, your jaw's wide open. Get that hand right back real fast. Let's try it again. Now speed it up a little bit this time. A little bit faster. Take your time between each punch now. Let your partner get relaxed. Convince him, Mike, that you're trying to hit him. Convince him. Let's see you try to convince him. You're really trying to hit him. Snap that punch in there a little faster now. It's important now when you're practicing these drills not to set a rhythm, a cadence. Like, for example, every third beat I punch. Punch, 2, 3, 4. Punch, 2, 3, 4. Well, he could close his eyes and he knows when I'm coming. You understand what I'm saying? Try to break up your cadence, break up your rhythm as much as possible. Now, let's go to step number 2. All right, position against me. Step number 2, we bring the hands out from behind the back. Notice when your hands are behind your back. Did you feel a little helpless the first couple of times your partner fired a punch at you? That's good. Even right now, I bet you if I had a show of hands, the majority of you, if not all of you, would say, yes, I now feel more confident when someone's trying to fire a punch at me, just from that first basic exercise. Now we've gotten a little relaxed. Now that I know I can make this man miss with my hands behind my back, let me try it with my hands up in front of me. All right, position. Now this is what I want you to work on. When that punch comes, take the punch straight out right on my jaw this time. When that punch comes, I want you to practice using your rear hand to block it, keeping your front hand free for the counter, for the counter, for the counter, whatever your counter move it is. See, my front hand is closer to him than his rear hand. So, the instant he fires that punch, I'm going to be blocking with the rear hand and countering him off with my front hand. All right, now watch. I might catch it in the pocket of my hand like this, like a baseball catcher catching a pitch, or I might take my rear hand and just tap it lightly to the side. Do not do this. Do not take your hand and come all the way out here away from your body to block it, like a typical karate type block. Now watch this. Position. Watch how fast I take my right hand, come out here and make that block and get my hand right back. I want you to try and make real contact against my jaw now, all right, as fast as you can. All right, go for it. A little bit quicker now, a little bit quicker. Notice how long my hand stays away from my jaw if I'm making that block. If you do this, you come way out here to make a block. This time, what I want you to do is I want you to do a shoulder fake and then come right around and simulate a ridge hand. Watch what happens if you come way out here to make the block. Go. Bam. You're wide open for a ridge hand or you're wide open for a follow-up roundhouse kick. Let me put my jaw back in line. Now watch. So, this time bear it straight down the middle. Go. Catch it right straight in front of you. All right, again, bear it straight down the middle. Or just tap it right to the side. And as soon as you tap it, get that hand right back up here, shielding the jaw, and that elbow right here, shielding your face, or rather your rib cage. Got me? All right. Let's just practice that block a couple times, okay? Gentlemen, everybody position, face this direction, face this direction. All right, when I say block, let's see how fast you make that block. Get that right hand right back on the jaw. Ready? Block. 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 Snap it out of the way. Block. Block. Snap it, snap it, snap it real fast. Okay? Now, position against each other, gentlemen. Keep this in mind now when you're doing this particular block. The instant you see that punch coming, you must block it. Now, if by chance your partner happens to be a little taller than you, instead of blocking it here, what a shorter person might do is you would block up, and you can use either hand to block. A taller person fighting someone who's a little shorter, what you would do is, instead of catching necessarily in front of you or blocking up, a taller person will have a tendency to tap the punches down. See? So for example, let's say, Rick, you're a shorter person, I'm a taller person. If you're throwing a straight left, I would tap it in. If you come to the right, I would tap it down. Does everybody see the difference in style? All right, position against each other. So not everyone is going to block exactly alike. This time, the exact same drill, okay? I want you to start off first, firing a punch at Rick. Rick, this is not a blocking drill. He's still doing the exact same thing. I want you to try to slip it, okay? And as a last resort, if you have to, block it. Make sure whichever hand you're blocking, when you keep the opposite hand free for the counter. Let's try it. Start off at half speed first. Okay, go for it. Back reposition. Convince him you're trying to hit him now. Try it again. Good, there we go. All right, now gradually start speeding up, Mike. Good. Snap that punch in there. Convince him you're trying to hit him. Right up on the hairline. Good. Convince him you're trying to hit him. Good. Now make sure when you, as soon as you slip that punch, as soon as you make him miss, see if you're in a good position for a counter movement. And those of you who are a little more advanced, start monitoring your movements. In other words, the instant you make a miss, go inside of yourself and see what your impulse is to counter. You might want to counter punch. You might want to use your forward hand there as a punch. You might want to use the rear hand for a punch. You might want to sit down on it and turn it over. Sometimes you might want to punch the elbow, just to weaken the elbow. Sometimes you might want to hook the bicep. Sometimes I'll bump. I'll step in, I'll bump with the forearm. Or I'll bump with my wrist this way. Sometimes if you're a wrestler, you might bump the forehead, duck down, do a leg dive or something like that. Or if you're in a street fight, you might hit the shoulder, slip to the side, and go around into a chokehold. Okay, we all have different impulses. See what your impulse is. But the key is, if you're not approaching your opponent, if you're allowing your opponent to approach you, whatever he's firing, you must make him miss. It's one of the most important things in fighting. Not the application of the technique, but how to approach the opponent. All right, position again. This time, let's reverse it now. Rick, I want you firing a punch back at Mike. Let's start off at half speed first. Take your time. Go for it. Good. Now, Mike, when you make that block, just because he's punching slow doesn't mean you necessarily get into his rhythm, because he might throw a couple slow punches to set you up. Boom! Then he comes at you real fast. Still make that block fast. Get it right back. Got me?
Yes, sir.
Keep going now. Good. Good. Gradually speed it up. Not the cadence, but speed up the actual punch itself. Try to make light, quick contact up on the hairline now. Make sure you're not aiming at the nose or the jaw. Aim at the hairline, just in case you do make contact. All right, that's looking good. Looking good, gentlemen, looking good. I like the way you're moving. Notice the way they're moving on their knees. They got a lot of knee movement now. Got that springing action in the knees. I like that. See, a moving target is hard to hit. And once you get in close to your opponent like this, you can't move your position around too much, but at least keep that target moving. Side to side. Often when you get hit, it's not so much you got a block there, but if the body's rolling with the punch, or if the body's rolling with the kick, you can absorb it. Plus, when you're relaxed when you're doing this, when you get hit, it's easier to spring back for the counter. But if you're tight, and you can block something, you can't spring back and recoil and answer attack quite as easy. Now, let's go into stage number 3. Stage 3. Now, what we're doing is we're working 4 set phases here. We've gone through set phase 1, set phase 2. Set phase 1, we're completely stationary, the hands behind the backs. Set phase 2, we're stationary now with the hands in front of us. Now, we'll put the hands back behind the back again, and we're going to do it in a mobile position. Watch me first. All right, Mike, you want to position against me? Give me a lot of room. Now watch. Square off against me over here. Now watch this. This is how I want you to set the drill up. One side leads. I'm going to lead you. The opposite side follows. Okay? Now when you follow me, always give me daylight. Always give me breathing room. I don't want you to follow me this close. Okay? Now watch. I'm going to lead you around. You just follow me. Stay with me. Come on, stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Good. Stay with me. Good. 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 Stay with me. Stay with me. Good. All right, back in your position. This time, I'm going to lead you around. I want you to crowd me. This is what I don't want you to do. Don't crowd your partner. All right, just crowd me. Crowd me. See how he's crowding me? It's hard to make somebody miss a technique if they're firing from this range. See, back up just a little bit. See, it's a little easier from here. So don't crowd your partner today. You're trying to help your partner to build his confidence. And one of the worst things in the world you could do to run somebody's strategy or destroy their confidence is set a fast pace or crowd them. So don't do that for now. All right, now watch. Square off against me again. Now watch. I'm going to lead you around. Okay? And I want you to just follow me. And I want you to try to tag me with that forward hand strike. Now watch how I'm moving, okay? Gotta move fast. All right, hold it up before you get lucky there. Now, notice, as I was moving around, I was doing 2 things. I was either moving my position, watch me move my position. I'm moving my position now. Or when I was holding my position steady, or I'm in what we call a holding pattern, I was at that moment, I had my head moving. So at all times, the target which is most vulnerable, which is my head, was in constant motion. Never once did I stop. Now, before I have you do this 3rd drill here, what I want you to do is work on a little body mobility with me. And we're going to work on a little footwork. Now watch these 2 drills. Now gentlemen, can you join me? Both of you position over here, facing this direction, please. Now watch. First thing I want us to do is, remember, whenever you're moving with your footwork, whichever foot you're moving first, move the foot closest in that direction first. Now watch what I'm talking about. If I'm going forward, watch my footwork. The front foot goes first. That's called stepping. If I go backwards, the rear foot goes first. If I go to the right, my right leg goes first. That way my feet never crisscross. If I go to the left, my left leg goes first. Now if I speed up the speed of that step, it's what we call a shuffle. Or we can have what we call a spring step. I get into this a little more explicitly in my footwork seminar. Watch this. Knees coming down like a spring, compress as a spring, relax it, compress, relax it. This is a spring step. Backward, forward, right, left. Little spring step here. I'm not bouncing. I'm not jumping. All that does is build up big calves and tightens up your legs. Now watch. Gentlemen, I want you to position like this. Let's work on a little lateral footwork first, so I can get you used to going side to side. Now watch. We're going to work on a little 8 count. Watch me. My right foot goes first, count of 1. My left foot follows, count of 2. We're going to once right, back to the left, then double right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now watch me reverse the action. Left, right, left, left. Just like a dance step. Count of 8. Watch me again. 1, 2, back, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now reverse it. Left, right, left, left. Let's try it slowly. Ready? Do it slowly with me, then we'll gradually speed it up. All right, with me now. Ready? right, 1, 2. Left, 1, 2. Right, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's reverse it back the opposite direction. Ready? Left, 1, 2. Right, 3, 4. Left, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do the same thing. Let's try it at half speed now. 180. All right, left, right, right. Reverse it. Left, right, left, left. It's a little complicated. Don't try to follow me, okay? Make it easier for yourself. Just try to get a sense of your own cadence, okay? As I say often, try to discover your own personal expressive pathway. Don't emulate me. All right, let's try it using a spring step. Watch me do it first. Spring, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, left. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you just move around just like you're sparring. Everybody see I'm just moving around? Circle your opponent any way you want. All right? Good calf workout. Let's try it once just for fun. Let's get a little spring step going. All right, going to the right first. Ready? Right, left, right, right. Reverse it. Left, right, left, left. Reverse it back now. Ready? Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Now try it a few times on your own. Now just try it. Do it on your own now. Ready? Just practice on your own. All right, go for it. Just get your own timing now. You can move back and forth any way you want. Don't have to necessarily follow my rhythm. Okay? Now, hold it up. Let's have one of those different footwork now. Watch this closely. Working off of a clock. Imagine I'm standing on the clock. Straight up here is 12 o'clock. Straight behind me is 6 o'clock. If I'm standing dead center of the clock, over here I got 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock respectively. Now let's do a little shuffle drill like this. Watch. I'm gonna do a little spring step up like this, up at 12 o'clock, 1, 2, back to the center of the clock. Back at 6 o'clock, back to the center clock. Then we're gonna go sideways. 3 o'clock back, 9 o'clock back. I don't want you to cover a lot of distance when you do this particular drill. Let's try it slowly with me, using a spring step. All right, 12 o'clock, back. All right, let's do it together. Ready? All right, ready? 12 o'clock, back. 6 o'clock, back. 3 o'clock, back. 9 o'clock, back. See, it's just like working a simple X. Straight up and back and up. Right and left. So if I'm attacking somebody, I'll get in there real fast, hit them, get right back out before they counter me. If they're attacking me, I'm gonna jump back, make a miss, get back right back in with a counter. If they're just about ready to fire, jump over the line of fire, throw their timing off, jump back in and tag them before they're ready. Well, let's try it a little bit faster, use a little spring step. Watch me one more time. 12 o'clock back, 6 o'clock back, 3 o'clock back, 9 o'clock back. Ready? It's off at 12 o'clock. Ready? 12 o'clock back, 6 o'clock back, 3 o'clock back, 9 o'clock back, 12 o'clock back, 6 o'clock back, 3 o'clock back, 9 o'clock back, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Got me? And there's many other footwork drills which you can work on to enhance your mobility skills. Now watch this drill. This is what I want you gentlemen work on. All right, I want you both in a position facing this direction. We're gonna do a little shadow fighting. Let's back it up a little bit, give ourselves a little more room. Now pay close attention to this so you can work on your skills at home as such. I'm gonna give you 2 commands. I'm going to say move, or I'm going to say hold. When I say move, I want you to move in your position. Watch this. Move. Move in the position around. I'm either stepping or using a spring step. Stepping. Stepping. When I say hold, you hold your position, but keep the head moving. Side to side, up, down. Watch my head. Side to side, up and down. Side to side, up, down. When I say move, position moves again. Position moves again. I say hold, head side to side, up, down. Side to side, up, down. So at all times, the target which is most vulnerable, which is my head, is always in motion. So if you're in a moving pattern, And I say, hold, don't stop, and then start the head moving. See that little hesitation? Whenever I say hold, keep that head instantly moving. Let it zoom right into a moving movement. Motion, got me? Let's try it, gentlemen, without any firepower. All right, position. All right, ready? All right, move. Just move around like you just sort of shout fighting. Move around. Move around, side to side, in and out, side to side, in and out. Side to side, in and out. Hold. Keep the head moving, side to side, up and down. Head moving, side to side, up and down. Move. This is an excellent drill to develop your movement. Hold. Keep the head going side to side, nice and simple, like you're sparring someone. Move. Hold. Stop. Good. Now, let's add firepower to that. Now, if you want to develop your endurance, you want to develop your speed, your techniques, your follow-through skills, your defensive and offensive footwork. Basically, that's what we're working on here. How to cut someone off or how to keep someone from cutting you off. This is an excellent drill to work on. What I do is I wear heavy boots or heavy sneakers with a slick bottom on so I can pivot. And I wear heavy gloves, like 16-ounce gloves or 14-ounce gloves. Or you can buy some little gloves with a little weight in it. And put that gear on, get your little time clock. And then you can work this particular drill like in your motel room, in your bedroom, when you travel, or you can work it in your dojo. All right, now watch. This time, I'm just going to have you add 2 techniques. I want you to work the forward hand strike and the lead leg kick. Just those 2 movements. When you fire the punch, please step in on it. When you fire the kick, please step in on it. Now we're going to work from 2 positions. I'm going to say move. When you're moving, you're going to practice firing from a moving position. And I'm going to say hold. When you hold, keep your head moving, and you keep firing from the holding position. Watch me demonstrate it first. Listen to my commands. Ready? All right, move. Just like I'm sparring someone, trying to set them up, step in, keep your head always moving. Hold. Hold in position, head still moving, still stepping in when I'm firing. Move, back, move it again. Nice, easy, slow pace, so I don't get too tired. Hold, hold. Head instantly goes into a moving pattern. It's a very difficult exercise, as you will see. Now, in this drill, since we're limiting the seminar to just these lead-off techniques, forward hand strike, lead leg. I only want you to use those techniques. Position, please. Facing this direction. Now, feel free to move around as you would, as if you're actually sparring someone. All right? Now, on my command, when I say move, you'll be moving the position. When I say hold, you hold the position. Keep the head moving. Whenever you feel free to fire, whether it's a single technique or a double or a triple, always step in. Ready? You see what I mean by the endurance factor. Ready? Move. Nice, easy pace. Nice and relaxed. Stay comfortable. Make sure you step in when you fire. Keep that position moving at all times. Don't fire and stop. As soon as you fire, keep instantly moving. Move out. Hold. Keep your head going side to side. Step in when you fire. Don't stand still and hit. Keep your head going side to side. Whenever you're in that holding pattern, move. Back and move around. Keep that position moving. A moving target is hard to hit. Keep firing, keep them busy. You're keeping them busy with 2 tools. You're keeping them busy with movement. You're keeping them busy with firepower. Hold. Keep your head moving. Keep your head moving. Step in when you fire. Step in when you fire. Move. Hold. All right, stop, gentlemen. Back reposition. Now, you can see that that was only about 30 seconds long. It gets you pretty winded. Imagine going 10, 12, 3-minute rounds with only a 30-second rest with heavy gloves and heavy shoes on. You can see it's a good workout. Excellent way to learn how to make that body move. Excellent way to stay in shape if you don't have a sparring partner to work with, or if it's raining one day or snowing, you can't get to a dojo. Excellent, excellent. Now, Now you've got the movement down. Let's work on a little application. Gentlemen, square off against each other, please. Notice we're getting a little bit closer and closer to real sparring. Notice how the degrees of skill sort of have an echelon effect. Now, square off against each other. This time, I want you firing first. Position ready to fire. Single punches only. I want you to start off at half speed now. Don't crowd your partner. Rick, can you put your hands behind your back down in the handcuff position? Now you lead your partner around. Opposite side, you're going to follow. Okay? Every once in a while, I want you to stick out there and try to tag him on the forehead with the lead hand strike. Got me?
Yes, sir.
Now, as you lead him around, Rick, when you stop, keep that head moving so he can't hit you when you're stationary. Got me? Let's see what happens. Half speed first. I'll tell you when to speed up. All right, ready? Commence. Let's see what happens. Try to concentrate on going side to side more often and not always just running back away from your opponent. Fire at will, Mike. Fire at will. Half speed, half speed. Good, there you go. Try not to lean back when you make a miss. Try to make sure you slip inside that punch. So you position yourself for a counter kick or counter punch or a counter knee or a jam or a takedown technique. Now gradually speed the punch up, Mike. Single punches, not the pace, just the punch. Make contact, make light contact against the forehead. Convince him you're trying to hit him. Good, all right, reposition, reposition. Now let's switch intense. This time, Rick, I want you to fire back at Mike. Mike, position, hands behind your back. I want that feeling of helplessness. Now, lead him around. Keep that position moving. Instant your position holds, like for example, you go up against the wall, you can't move. So you don't just stand there and try to cover. That doesn't keep him busy. You got to keep moving. Later on, you not only keep moving, but you keep firing as well. Side to side often. Got me?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I want you to work a lot on that lateral movement. It's very important now. Quite a bit of lateral movement. So you're not just running from your opponent. See, because when you go straight back, his momentum is building because he's following you. But if he's coming on a straight line and you sort of sidestep him, so you decrease his momentum. Got me? So sometimes I'll fake this direction, I'll fake back that direction, then I'll shuffle to the side. Got me? If I feel like there's something behind me, I'll go back 2 steps, then I'll sort of switch step and go off on an angle. Got me? Here's a great opportunity to work on that lateral movement. Position. Let's see what happens. Starts off half speed. Now, Rick, go for it. Let's see what happens. Lead him around, Mike. Take your time between each punch. Really try to make contact now, Rick. Half speed. Give him a little daylight to breathe there, Rick. Don't crowd him before you punch. See anybody walk up on top of somebody standing on their feet and hit him. But try to hit him out there 18 inches away. Now gradually speed the punch up, Rick. Gradually speed it up. Always move towards daylight, Mike. Always move towards daylight. So what happens? You listen to me instead of watching him, you get hit. Side to side, side to side. Good, there you go. There you go. See him just about ready to squeeze that trigger, move. Good, back reposition, gentlemen. Looking good. Now, let me show you set phase number 4. We've completed set phase number 3. Notice it's getting harder and harder as we go along. Now, if you're in a nice hot gym like 99 degrees or 100 degrees temperature, great exercise to develop your skills, your footwork skills, your art of making your opponent miss. Now, notice we're working on a strategy here. The strategy is you're learning how to make somebody miss, what I call the art of making your opponent miss, or the art of dodging. Now, let's go to set phase 4. This is going to be a little harder, but watch it. Square off against me. What we want to break out of the habit of doing now is, whenever you're working with a partner, you always don't want to throw the same techniques, use the same strategy, and always spar at the same pace. Because you lose your intensity, you lose your energy level. You go in a gym, you spar somebody, it's sort of going at a slow pace. Then you step into competition or a realistic altercation, all of a sudden, boom! Man jumps you, blitzes you. Your timing is off, you're caught off guard. So you want to be able to quickly adjust to any kind of opponent. That's why it's real important not only have different types of sparring partners, or it's also important to learn to control those different types of situations so that you're able to make those quick adjustments. You're able to make the decision how to make that quick adjustment. And the more strategies you have at hand, the easier it is for you to make those adjustments. One strategy is not enough. And technique alone without strategy means your technique has no substance. You can't move with any authority. Okay? Now watch this. Go off against me. This time we're going to go to set phase 4. So we bring the hands from behind the back up in front of you. And we're going to go through 3 stages. Stage number 1. I'm going to move around, and I'm going to throw half-speed techniques at you. You keep trying to miss as the last resort. If you have to, block it. That's set phase 4. This is step number 1 in that phase. Step number 2. All right, step number 2. I'm going to increase the single punches to full speed. Now, as I'm increasing the speed, okay, the punches, I want you to think about what we call continuity of motion. So if someone fires a punch at you, stick your hand out here like you just fired a punch. You don't just slip it. You don't just circle out here and stop. Because what if he's falling through the roundhouse kick? Bam, I'm going to get hit. Or what if he's falling through the right punch here? I'm going to get hit. So back up, reposition. So I'll work on continuity motion. So as I slip, make you miss one technique. If he's falling through, I'm continuing to move. So in case he follows through, I'm going to continue to make him miss. All right, position. So step 3 of this drill, when I say step 3, what I want the opposite side to do is, instead of throwing one punch and stopping, I want you to double up or triple up. So whenever you fire that punch, step in on each punch. Singles, doubles, or triples. And then step 4, I'm going to use the word intensity. When I say intensity, I don't want you to crowd your opponent like this. I don't want you to step in here and hit him from here. What I want you to do by intensity is I want you to step up the cadence, step up the pace of the match. To get your opponent used to responding from what we call the fluid state of consciousness, not the cognitive state of consciousness. Because all through these drills, what we've been doing is this. We've been sitting saying, okay, when a punch comes, I'm going to slip it this way. Okay, now when the next punch comes, I'm going to slip it this way. See you in a thinking mode. I want you to get out of that thinking mode, get into an impulsive mode, where it's just a game of reaction. And learn to trust your reactions and your impulses. Now, let me take my partner through it first, now let them try it against each other. Square off against me, please. Step number 1, I want you to lead me around, and I'm going to follow you with single half-speed punches. Ready? Okay, you lead me around. Okay. I'm leading you around. Okay, you lead me around now. I'm just going to follow you. You see the punch, come and pick it off. Good. 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 Make sure in the holding pattern you keep the head moving now. Good. Now, step 2. We're going to go to full speed this time, okay? Now watch it. See, you're trying to block them a lot. Keep the head moving now, okay? Good. Ready? Step 2, full speed. Single punches, full speed. Ready? Good. Good. Whoop. I got a little too close that time. Keep going. Keep the body going side to side. Give me that side to side move. Don't let me catch you standing still. Good. Good. Don't let me catch you standing still. Good. Keep that head moving. Keep your head moving now. Keep your head moving. Good. Now, as soon as you slip the first punch, keep moving now. Keep moving. Don't stop. Because in a second, we're going to be double up and triple up. All right, ready? Keep that head moving now. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Good. Good. Keep it moving. Good. Now, step 3. Singles, doubles, triples. So you can't just slip and stop. Because when I start doubling up, I might fire the first punch, you'll slip it. But the second punch, I'll pull it back, hit you before you move. So slip, keep moving now. Let's see what happens. Ready? Full speed, doubles, triples, and singles. Ready? Lead me around now. Lead me around. Good. Keep that hand moving. You sort of stop that time. Whoa! Keep your hand moving. Whoa, see what happened? Whoa, whoa, come back over here. See, I fired the first punch. You stepped over there and you checked my hand. No, over here. But you stopped. See, typical karate people, they stop. But what did I do when you stopped there? I pulled my hand back, bap, touch you. See what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Now let's do it correctly. You slip the first one, keep your head moving, so I fire here. Got me? You're going to make me miss. Got me?
Yes, sir.
All right, now if you can't move the head, move the position.